New York City, with its soaring skyline and concrete towers, seems familiar. But behind the gloss of skyscrapers and the art of the deal lies a courtroom battle that feels more like a thriller than a legal drama. This is New York versus Letitia James, a fight fueled by power, truth, revenge, and risk, a story that has shocked America and echoed through the corridors of justice. At the center stands Letitia James, New York's Attorney General, a trailblazing black woman, once a public defender, and now the person who dared to take on one of the richest, most powerful men in the world, Donald J. Trump. Her mission: to expose what she calls years of brazen financial fraud that enriched Trump, inflated his empire, and deceived banks. It began in September 2022. James's office filed a sweeping civil suit against Donald Trump, the Trump Organization, and several of his adult children and senior executives. They accused them of a staggering crime, falsifying their financial statements for more than a decade, from 2011 to 2021, to persuade banks, insurers, and lenders to treat them like royalty. According to her complaint, they manipulated more than 200 valuations of properties and assets. Trump Tower, Mar-a-Lago. Hotels, golf courses. The triplex on Fifth Avenue purported to be 30,000 square feet when, in reality, it was a fraction of that. These were not honest disagreements over value. James claimed they were lies, calculated, unrelenting, and illegal. New York State Attorney General plus to the Washington Post too. She asked the court for more than just money. She wanted real consequences, to ban Trump and his sons from running any New York business, to block the Trump Organization from buying property in New York, to right what she saw as a corrupt abuse of power. New York State Attorney General James's voice echoed across the press room when she filed the suit. She didn't mince words. She said the fraud was intentional, that it cheated ordinary people, and that no one was above the law, even a former president. The Washington Post. What followed was a grueling, high-stakes legal investigation. Her office reviewed millions of documents. Investigators interviewed over 65 witnesses. New York State Attorney General. They pieced together a portrait of deception, overinflated numbers sent to banks, property values skyrocketed on paper, and a network of trust and influence that masked the truth beneath layers of corporate embellishment. When trial came, it was no ordinary court proceeding. 11 weeks, witness after witness. In December 2023, James's office announced that they had rested their case, New York State Attorney General. But their argument carried weight because at its heart, this was not just a financial lawsuit. It was a statement about fairness, morality, and who gets to write the rules of wealth in America. Then came the judge's ruling. Justice Arthur F. Engoron found in James's favor. CNBC Plus One. He declared that Trump and his company were liable for fraud. He ordered a penalty of more than $450 million, including disgorgement of illicit gains and interest, a staggering sum. New York State Attorney General. He also barred Trump and his sons from serving as officers in any New York company for a period, insisting this wasn't just about money, it was about accountability. New York State Attorney General. When news broke, James released a statement that echoed with conviction. Justice has been served, she said. Even the most powerful must answer for their actions. New York State Attorney General. For her, this was never just a lawsuit. It was a fight for truth, fairness, and the rule of law. But the story didn't end there. As drama swirled, so did the resistance. Trump appealed. In August 2025, a New York appeals court threw out nearly $500 million of the financial penalty. Al Jazeera Plus One. They called it excessive, yet the court did not toss out the finding of fraud itself. Al Jazeera. That meant yes, wrongdoing was acknowledged, but the punishment was debated. For Letitia James, it was a blow, but not a defeat. She didn't retreat. She vowed to fight, to appeal to the state's highest court, and to defend the original judgment. The Guardian Plus One. The stakes remain sky-high, billions in value, years of legacy, and the epicenter of power in New York. Yet, for Letitia James, the battle carried a personal weight. Media reports and political whispers began swirling with new accusations, a mortgage fraud case filed against her. Al Jazeera. Her critics claimed vindication, her allies saw retaliation. Her life's work, her reputation, hung in the balance. James and her legal team responded with fierce resolve. They called the accusation politically motivated, saying it was a direct reprisal orchestrated by those threatened by her pursuit of Trump. AP News Plus won the timing, they argued, was no accident, a strike back from a powerful opponent. Through it all, Letitia James stood firm. She filed motions, denied wrongdoing, and insisted her legacy was built on justice, not politics. She said she would welcome a fair hearing, claiming the charges were baseless and focused on retribution. AP News Plus won this as a courtroom saga many only dared to imagine, a battle between a powerful black woman and a titan of real estate and politics. It's a story of power, fraud, and the pursuit of truth. For the people of New York, it raises a question: does the mighty truly answer to the small? For America, it raises an even bigger one. In this country of inequality and influence, is justice for sale, or for all? At its core, New York versus Letitia James is not just about money or business. It's about accountability. It's about the idea that even the richest and most famous must play by the same rules. It's about proving boldly, publicly, that law and morality are not privileges reserved for a few. And as Letitia James continues to fight, winning some, battling others, standing her ground, one thing is clear: this trial didn't end with a verdict. It ignited a movement, challenged a legacy, and forever changed how the rest of the country sees power. The stakes are still enormous. The appeal looms: the future of American justice. Our system of checks and balances, of fairness and trust, feels more fragile than ever. And Letitia James, once a public defender with a quiet passion for justice, finds herself at the center of a storm she did not ask to lead, but one she refused to shrink away from. Because for her, this was never just about Donald Trump. It was about something bigger, a promise. A promise that no one, no matter how rich, how powerful, is above the law. And in that promise lies the heart of her fight.